but I did a couple of weird ones. Like I did a couple of, say, self-defense courses, but then I did one that is, it's called Krav Maga. It's the Israeli self-defense, and it's basically what they teach the Israeli army. So I mean, there's women in the Israeli army. So I went along to do a weekend of this, and within the first half an hour, I was close to tears. Like I wanted to leave, and I said I give myself the day because it's really intensive. Like it's just 2 days basically, and I was fighting guys that were. I mean, there was prison officers on the course. There was guards, there was bank managers, there was people who'd been, in situations that they couldn't handle, say in the job, say something had happened to them, so this was like something else they were doing. I suppose in some way a confidence booster after a
you'd feel
incident.
You have a bit more control. Yeah.
But because I was so tall, all the women who were there, and there wasn't that many of them, were all tiny little women, and I thought I can't fight these women because we were learning how to use sticks and we fought with sticks, we fought with all sorts of things, and what we learned kind of on the first day we had to kind of put into practice on the second day. So we had to fight a guy in like a big fat suit, so we had to literally fight for our lives to get away from him, and they timed how long it took you to get away from him, and he had us by the waist and he just picked me up and I had to get out of that. And then we had various very female orientated situations that could happen, and then things like, say you're in a car park, you're walking through it shopping, you aren't necessarily looking around. You should be. Do you know what I mean? A lot of self-awareness stuff, and it was absolutely amazing. But by the end of it, now we were so psyched in terms of adrenaline and everything and what we learned. But we learned a huge amount in 2 days. But I was black and blue. I had to do, I think that finished on the Sunday. I think it was on Ireland Day. On the Tuesday, I had to wear a polo neck, long sleeves. I had gloves on. I literally looked like someone had taken a baseball bat to me, but I had to fight the guys. Yeah. Now, in real life, I would be fighting a guy if I was in that scenario. A little tiny woman isn't going to try and jump me in the street. But it was difficult because I wouldn't have, obviously, the same body strength and not upper body strength that a man would have. And some of the guys, and in the beginning they were trying not to be, I'm not going to beat this girl up, it wouldn't be very nice. By the end of it, we were just all killing each other. It was really good because it felt very lifelike, felt very real. Like, and the surge of adrenaline that you would get. I mean, the robbery of the car happened to me way before this, and I remembered it was the same surge of adrenaline. But at least I suppose in some ways, if you have any kind of knack things and tricks in your head to think about how to deal with the situation very fast, you will if you've done some kind of training. Whereas if it's just adrenaline, you could probably just do anything, do you know what I mean, and get hurt in the process. So I just thought from a female point of view, it was very, very valuable what we actually learned, and some of it I actually still remember. I mean, I'd say it's about 7 years since I did that. And I still walk through a car park exactly the same way that they taught me how to walk through a car park.
Oh, you walk through the car park and have a good look around and...
Well, yeah, but also how you hold your keys.
Right.
Hold your car key out like that.
Right. So you can use it as a weapon in case...
Pretty much.
Was that what they kind of do? They teach you that anything is a potential weapon around you, hence the sticks?
Well,
because I assume you're not going to have a stick with you.
You're not going to have a stick, obviously, but we had bats, and we had, there was things like how to get out of a headlock, there was how to, it sounds fairly graphic, it sounds really heavy duty, but like, no one is going to rob you or steal your hand by tapping you on the shoulder. Do you know what I mean? In some ways, maybe none of this would ever happen to you, but it does happen to people. And it really interested me that the other people who were on it, particularly the men, had some sort of incident where they felt they were either overwhelmed or, they couldn't respond how they thought they should have. Yeah. But that could have been faced by 3 guys with sticks. Yeah. I mean, no one can face that and actually walk away and go, well, I did a great job there, I knew what to do. So in some ways I thought, actually it's a really good life lesson just in terms of self-awareness of your own space and what you should do if something happens. I mean, there's not many of us having walked down a dark street and felt someone was walking behind us, and then what do you do? Do you stop? Do you run? Do you turn side? Do you go sideways? What do you do? And maybe they are only trying to rob your phone, but if they're not, it would be handy to know something.
What do you do if you're walking down a dark street? What's the best way to do it?
Well, there was a couple of different things. Obviously, the first thing, if it's a rural situation, it'd be different than a city one. But, obviously look to somewhere with lights. I mean, if you could walk straight into a pub, that's probably safer than staying on the street. Or a shop, anything that was open, straight in, stay there, make your phone call from inside there. But if you haven't got time to think about it, I mean, I don't think running is ever the best idea. Only because then
you're telling them you're scared.
Telling them you're scared, yeah. I don't know whether turning around to face them is a better idea either. But, each situation could be different. I mean, sometimes you could walk down the street and you wouldn't know whether it's a man or a woman or whoever behind you. I mean, you don't know. Not everybody's going to attack you. But there was just some things that we did over the 2 days that just really made me feel very aware of, okay, this is a situation where I can try and gauge it before you start panicking. And it's
actually, and it's something, it often strikes me something men should be aware of as well, because I've been in situations where like you'd be on a street and it's dark and you're walking and suddenly you realise there's a woman in front of you and you're going, oh God, I don't want to scare her. Should I speed up and walk past her? That'll probably terrify the life out of her. Or should I drop back, which kind of looks a bit suspicious as well for some reason? You don't really know what to do.
Probably cross the road would be best.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the first thing I think of. If I was a guy and I thought that, then I'd cross the road. Because it just sends a clear signal that actually I know you're there and I'm here, but I'm actually going to walk over there, it'd be easier.
Right, okay.
You know that too. Yeah. That kind of way. So, but no, for both men and women, I think really valuable stuff to learn. So when this big geezer has you around the waist, how do you get out of his grip? Well, pretty much, from what I can remember, I got out of it in, I think, about 45, 50 seconds. And this guy is this size. He's Patrick. That's big for people who didn't see that. He's one of the biggest guys I've ever seen in my life. And he literally just picked me up and was laughing. I was kind of going to get out of it. So literally, a lot of what he showed us was use wrists and our elbows and wrists. So a lot of this coming around. Right. Because of course you're going to connect with the head. Face, basically. Yeah, you connect with the head. Yeah. And then if the head goes, you can come back. Back with the fist into the face. Yeah. Right. Or whatever way with your wrist. It really depends on literally the positioning of where they are. And then literally you're just fighting like a cat to get out. And, you just get out of it. But, you can't pussyfoot around kind of, okay, well, I'm going to hold you now. And you have to get out of it and just stand there like a gentleman. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't respond that way either. You get out of it as quick as you can get out of it. But it was a brilliant thing to go through. And those guys, were they wearing any sort of kind of padding or anything like that? That was the one thing. He was wearing the padding suit. But when we actually did the individual kind of fighting with the bats and bits of wood and all sorts of things, none of us padded. Ouch. And I got a guy, oh my God, talk about one of your next subjects. I got a guy so bad, and I think he'd been terrified to hit me in case he really hurt me because I'm a girl, do you know what I mean? After that, I don't think he cared at all. He came at me like a lunatic, and then there was no gloves at all involved anyway, but he went for me with the bat because I seriously hurt him. So I forget how long my legs are, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I kind of went to kick him, but not as high as I thought I actually hit him at, which was very fortunate. Oh no. So that could be the cross-dressing thief, Brenda. Yeah. You didn't kick him in the frenulum by any chance? I didn't break his frenulum, okay? Well, it was thereabouts, yeah. Dermot in Navan, ex-Arbor Hill, not the prison, he says, did Laura go all Brendan O'Carroll when she was shouting at the thief? No matter how well spoken a dub is, north or south side, when pushed and having to shout in a situation like that, we all sound a bit Gardner Street. Absolutely. Give me back my bags. That wouldn't have worked. Claire's jumping up and down. Usually that's one of two things. That's her trying out for the Olympics, or in this case, it's apparently Cronuts will be arriving within the hour. Way. The awesome power of radio, my friends.